Shalom, and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is Meditation and Mindfulness with Rabbi-Cantor Hilary Chorney.
Today I'm going to give the Torah for meditation inside the course of the meditation itself. So I'm going to get us into the meditative state, and then once we're in that meditative state, I'll offer a little nugget of Torah and something to think about, and that will lead us into a time of relative quiet. Obviously, there are little ambient noises because we're human and we're in the middle of a city, but relative quiet, and then I'll bring us out at the end. It'll just be a few minutes of all that. So if you haven't yet, begin to pay attention to the way that your body is seated. I'm going to invite you to begin paying attention to your breath. And as you breathe in, notice how deeply your breath reaches in you. And as you breathe out, notice that your next breath comes in a little bit more deeply. Let that breath settle all the way down in you. Breathe until you feel like the breath is running the length of your spine. Breathe until you feel like your breath meets gravity. Let your legs be heavy. Let your body be heavy and act like a weight or an anchor. However you're seated, let it steady you. Be mindful of the way that your body has landed and the way that your arms and hands have landed. And make a choice either to put your palms so that they're facing up, receiving whatever is coming to you in the universe. Or place your palms down as a gesture of self-reassurance. As you breathe, notice that without even thinking about it, your heart rate has slowed. And all the parts of you, the thoughts that swirl, that run through you the way that blood and oxygen runs through your body, as the blood slows and your breathing slows, so do the racing thoughts. Let your shoulders settle. Let your jaw settle. Scan your face and your mind's eye, and anywhere where you're holding tension in the jaw, in your eyes and your eyebrows, in your neck and in your chin. Let it go. Release. Let your chin settle to the earth. And find that you are still, not perfectly frozen, but your body is still. There's a line in our Parsha Ki Tisa this week that is familiar because we revisit it both on fast days, like this week on Monday, and also on the High Holy Days. Sometimes we call that list the 13 attributes of God. And one of those attributes is God's slowness to anger. I'm going to tell you a story that the rabbis related in the Talmud about God's anger. It's a parable, and like in many parables in the Talmud, God is king. The story goes as follows. There was a king who ran a fair and favorable kingdom. He had several children, and he learned that one of his sons had committed a terrible crime. As with anyone in his fair and favorable kingdom, the king saw to it that his son was collected up and put into prison and set there to serve the time that he should serve for the crime that he had committed. The king was so angry that he told the guards in the prison not to allow his son to eat or to drink. He said this the way that a king or a father would say any decree that came from a place of anger. He should starve, he should go thirsty for the crime he committed. The king received word a week later that there was another person in his kingdom who had gone to great lengths to steal some food, to travel all the distance to the prison where the prince, the king's son, was kept, to sneak inside the prison walls, to sneak inside the king's son's cell, and there where he found the prince, to be sure that the prince had food and had water. The king told his guards, "Go and fetch me this person who traveled all that distance to feed my son, the son whom I decreed should not eat and should not drink, who fed that son and who gave him drink. Find that person and bring them to me." Days later, the person appeared in the king's court, and the king stood up, got off of his throne, and threw himself upon this person, wept on their neck and on their body, and said, "Thank you." This story is complicated. It is a story about the complicated nature of anger, especially anger at the people whom we love dearly. Our anger may at times be righteous and deserved. Our anger may sometimes even be or feel earned. But sometimes the object, the person at the other end of our anger, is someone who we also hold fiercely in love and whom we want to protect. What do you do when you're angry, but you want to protect somebody else from your anger? Anger is powerful. And when you are in power, anger is even more powerful. What do you do? What do you wish for? When you wish to hold on to the anger that you are allowed to hold, when the person at the other end, the receiver, is someone you also wish nothing but the best for. In this story, the king found a way around through the love and protection of the community that he built. He built a fair and favorable kingdom, and part of a fair and favorable kingdom is people knowing that when the king was too angry to do so, they would pick up care where he left off. Who picks up with care where and when you leave off? Who do you rely upon when your anger burns too hot to make sure that care and concern still reigns in the areas where you are in charge? How do you ensure that your life is a fair and favorable life, not just for you, but for the people around you? from this place of quiet and calm, begin to notice your fingers and your toes again. Allow your spine to relax and gently move your neck back and forth. Allow your position to relax a bit. As you open your eyes, take some breaths in. Try to hold on to a slice of the calm that you created in yourself. If some of the things that you encountered in that meditation were difficult or brought big thoughts, just cut off a little slice. Take a little piece, put it in your proverbial pocket, and hold on to it for what might be a little bit of quiet, reflective time this Shabbat. And if this is the bridge between Shiva and Shabbat, or what's been a hard week for any reason and Shabbat, then do some letting go as you leave this room. You can leave some of that behind you. Walk into Shabbat a little more free and a little less burdened. I'm so glad that all of you join me. We do this every Friday morning during sabbatical. I'm here and running the space through Rabbi Quickfeld began this quite some time ago. But you're welcome anytime to just be here and be a part of it. Every week's a little bit different. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
You have been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast site or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Temple Beth Am Los Angeles, go to tbala.org.